Yeah. They've got 20,000 foot fiber optic.
Here.
Where are they running that for?
AT&T, yeah.
Teacher needs that too.
Yeah. Get the people.
But at least we say.
Guys, just been fun.
Yeah.
I rarely have anybody. Well, like all things family.
That's fine here, Mary.
There's something wrong, and if that's really wrong, then something wrong, it's supposed to be back.
You got
And
it.
we're just not.
All right,
We're
we're good.
No, it's funny, because when I show up, and I'm kind of new, and here, whether it's the firefighters or the, or the board member.
Right. Right.
I'm here to visit,
I was just here to visit and do my
All
spiel.
right. That should be it. I know.
You all right?
I think I'll survive. The case.
What's up with the meeting? For our president. For the agenda. Sure, thanks, aye. Is there any additions or deletions? Okay.
You've got some minutes to approve the, opening meeting second, so.
And I have that back. Oh, so I remember. All right. Yeah, just the one, so I know.
At 53.
Approval, let's see, there's no public comment. Approval of the minutes of 2/19. Approval of the minutes for the executive session. All in favor? Aye. Financial report, please.
Yes, sir, as of February 28th, 2024, checking accounts in the general fund, 1,282,749.88. And the capital reserve, 617,747.04. And in the building and land fund, 182,760.80. Total assets of 2,083,257.72. And then the current liabilities are 2,102.64. Total income for this period, income 177,120.17. This is 123,860.
Make a motion to approve as written. All in favor? Approval of the ordinance of 25-03, disbursements. Make a motion to pay the bills outlined in the check register.
Okay.
All in favor? Communications? Nothing. Staff reports? Nothing. Fire marshal's report?
For February, there was one permit issued for $1,600. No fees collected. That's for a remodel down at Jefferson College.
Any questions or comments about that?
Nope.
Shop steward report? Nothing to present?
He texted me, so there's nothing.
Under old business, I don't show anything. So, fire chief report.
There we go, fire chief's report.
Yeah.
February 2025 finished with 126 call for service. Another busy month. Crews did a great job, especially towards the end of the month. Multiple wildfires starting across the area. So it's been good. Statewide mutual aid system has been doing its thing and working out very, very well. Grant updates. Jefferson Foundation. Again, we received the grant funding for that workout equipment. We have formed a committee to start figuring out what we're gonna need to buy from that, and hopefully we'll be ready to go out for bid for that stuff next month. I would like to think, I hope. We are gonna be able to store that workout equipment at Goldman Fire until next door's done. So we'll kind of see how that all shakes out. We do have a current grant for EMS equipment. We won't find that out until June, May.
Something.
So we have reapplied for the AFG grant for some wildland gear, boots and helmets. Your guess is as good as mine what's going to go on at the federal level right now. So no clue what to tell you on that one, guys. Sorry. And again, we kind of discussed last month. We're at the crossroads with the federal EOC grant where we needed to make a decision. And I think it's obviously time to move forward with remodeling next door and then going on. Firehouse subs grant, some of the equipment has been delivered. Still awaiting the delivery of the airbags, I believe. Am I correct in saying?
One set of them, yes.
One set of them. So policy update from Lexipol. Hopefully by the end of this month, we will be done with that. The stoplight issue. I have some good news on it. Well, some kind of good news. I did talk to MoDOT about that it's not an eligible project to be funded under the MoDOT city grant that I kind of talked about. But I do have verbal commitment from the city of Hillsborough that we're going to split 50-50. Just to be good neighbors, I think to be in the right direction. However, he did ask that we hold off as long as we can because he's going to try to get it fully funded under the various grants they have going on to redo the intersection at the Animal Park in Phase 21. Phase 2 is a crosswalk down here, so I think we just need to kind of see how that plays out over the next however often. Again, I don't have any different delivery date on the ladder truck. The building and planning project is continuing. We did meet with Steve to discuss the old Casey's building. He is working on plans. He was here yesterday for quite a while, took measurements of the building and went through all of that. I did meet with the Civic Club as well too. They are not interested in the coolers anymore, the big walk-in coolers next door. So I guess if you guys are okay with it, we'll work out maybe throwing it out there as surplus equipment and seeing if anybody wants to come take them out and
Haul them away.
haul them away.
Okay.
Maybe somebody can use them somewhere.
If the school couldn't.
Probably. I would think so. But I'll see what we can do, see what we can work out, see if anybody's interested. Jason Daniel did express interest at the city that he may want them if we can't get rid of them from surplus sales team. So
Okay.
We'll work on getting some sort of a notice together for that. I guess we probably do. I'll put that on next month's agenda because we probably do need to have that as surplus equipment on the official agenda. If we're ready to go in April, give it till May. I don't think they'll be ready to. Yeah, that should be plenty of time still to get rid of all of that. And so. I don't have any update from Josh Boyer on the foundation repair here. Figure it out. The fleet, pretty major issues with the fleet after the inspections, especially on the two older trucks. I attached a list to this report here. They are going through some of the items on that list to try to get them taken care of. I'm looking specifically, they've already worked on some of the oil leaks, fixing the chains, pump, and a lot of the other big issues they have fixed. So we're not too terribly concerned about the oil leaks. Diesel, we're gonna leak. But they did go ahead and replace the valve gasket cover to help slow the leak. But I'm sure there's probably some head gasket leaks, and I don't know if it's worth tearing into it. So
Right.
we'll see if this slows it down and kind of go from there. So training division, crews are working this week on vent enter search with the training academy up at the old Lagori site. So they're doing some pretty cool stuff up there. Check out the training academy's Facebook page. A couple of blood drives coming up, cert classes coming up, all kinds of stuff rolling with the services division. Thanks to Eli, he's doing a good job running that. And I again included the link in there for fire related bills at the state legislative level, which I will be going down on the 27th, firefighter day at the Capitol. Things are a little calmer in Jeff City this year, which is surprising with everything is crazy at the federal level. As Jeff City seems to be a little. Let's hope so. Sorry.
Then you said you had no old business
Nothing under oath.
and new business, 9.1, investing for.
Yeah, I'd like to kind of turn this over. I'll give you some quick background. Multiple fire districts, Chief Fisher over at Cedar Hill, Chief Dunn up at Saline Valley, Chief Brown at Mappaville, all kind of turned me on to MOCAT, which is a large investment pool, and I'm not going to try to totally define it because the man that runs the show is sitting right behind me. I'd like to introduce Paul Ziegler, and he can kind of go over the program and what that can mean for some investing options here in the future for the multiple fire districts. So,
Well, welcome,
Thanks.
Paul.
Thank you. You guys care if I sit? You want me to stay?
No, you can-
It seemed everyone's a little different. So
Whatever you're comfortable with.
I'm great with. I think you have the PowerPoint that I sent the chief. I'm going to try not to just read it to you because that doesn't make sense. But essentially, as a government service, you were just talking about mutual aid. You have agreements that you can go with other fire departments and help each other out. Same thing as a government entity, you can work with other government entities to invest. And that's essentially what MOCAT is. We're what's called a local government investment pool, which means local governments can come together, put all their money into this pool to make the cost of investing cheaper, is essentially what it comes down to. So with that said, that's the big overview. What MOCAT is we essentially work with public entities only in Missouri to help them invest. We do a lot of school district work, I'll be honest. Several of us came from the school district side. That's kind of our starting point. So we probably have 240 school districts around the state that are members. But then on top of that, we have started to diversify and add in fire districts, ambulance districts, library districts, hospitals. So we've diversified, and that's kind of what brought me into some of the fire districts here in Jefferson County in particular. So with that said, I'll kind of walk through a little bit just to give you some. You'll see those first couple slides. There's 7 of us that are really dedicated to Missouri. The first 4 were kind of the faces that people see most of the time, and then the people on the next page are the background. Emily would be somebody that you'd probably be familiar with at some point, just because she helps with setting up the accounts and doing some of that stuff. So you might see her name come across those things, but she's kind of the brains behind the backside, the things, the accounting pieces of it. When you move on further than that, MOCAD is actually part of PMA. PMA is Prudent Man Advisors. They operate only for public entities, and they operate 13 of these funds like MOCAD in 11 different states. So they operate in Illinois, Wisconsin, Iowa, Minnesota, Nebraska, Missouri, Pennsylvania, but you kind of get mostly Midwest is kind of where they've been. But they do that in that pool that they, between all those public entities, they invest about $44 billion in government entities dollars across those states. Here in Missouri, we just hit a high water mark last week of about 3.8 billion. And we did that, and if you go on to the next page, we just were founded in 2020. So we've been around now for going into our 5th year. We kind of pride ourselves on the idea that we are high touch service. I want the chief to know who I am. I want you all to know who I am. I want all of our entities to know who we are. So with that, there is a competitor to us called MOSIP in the state of Missouri. They've been around for about 40 years. So gives you an idea. We came into the space because we felt like competition is a good thing. If you guys go out to look for a bank, or if you go to buy a fire truck, you look at different people to who's got the best. And we thought that was a good thing. And that's kind of what brought about the start of MOCAD. So we do 3 things, essentially. We look at your operating. If there's opportunities for you to invest there, we have a liquid pool that has same day liquidity. So you all put money in that liquid pool. If chief or somebody that's an authorized utilizer says, I want those dollars back in our bank account, they do that by 11 a.m. It hits the same day. So that same day liquidity, if they ask after 11 a.m., it'll be there the next morning. So that's kind of our banking hour. If we don't know by 11, we can't get all the wires to transfer everything on the same day, so then it moves to the next. That fund itself has about 1.9 billion in it, and that's just liquid dollars for people in the state of Missouri. That fund right now pays a 4.23% interest rate for same day liquidity. And what we find is that really is very competitive. Most banks have really come down on their money market because as we've watched the Federal Reserve cut, we know that that trickles down into those overnights and those markets. The way that pool works is much like what you would see as a mutual fund for your personal. You get a share for $1. Every dollar you put in gets, and then so you don't actually, Hillsborough doesn't own the CDs or the treasury bills or the treasury notes that sit behind there. They're owned by the pool, and then that pool of assets, you own $1 of that share. Different than that, if you were to say, we know we have $250,000, we're not going to use it. We want to put that into a fixed term investment. We want to buy a CD, we want to look at treasuries, we want to look at some other term series product. At that point, then those are in your name. We hold those for you in United Missouri Bank, UMB. That's our custodial bank, but those would be your personal, meaning Hillsborough Fire District's assets. So kind of the difference between the pool is one big pool, everybody gets $1 for every dollar you put in. The other one is you would own those. And that's what we do for this kind of second pool. For some of those reserves that you know can be sitting out there longer, we look, what are your best investment options? Treasuries, CDs, term series, things that are very safe. Safety is always our top priority with our public entities because we can't have you all lose principal. If you all are going to lose principal, it's because the world is coming apart. It means that the government's collapsed, other things, because everything that we do is in that safest of investment sides. It's going to be treasuries. It's going to be, again, CDs or things that have some sort of faith and credit behind it. The only other piece that we do use some is what's called commercial paper. And those are short-term loans to AAA rated corporations. It's your IBMs, your Apples of the world. If they borrow money for less than 270 days, it's called commercial paper. We have a credit team, only AAA rated, highest rated corporations will buy any of that. But that gives us a little bit of that spread on how we can make a little bit more in that money market for our entities than just a CD or just a treasury. So that's kind of, and then the last thing we do for a lot of our entities is bond proceeds management. So Fire District runs a bond issue. Antonio just did this. They received $6 million. They're building a building. They're buying a truck. Those things aren't happening right now. So we take what their funds are and develop an investment plan for their draw schedule. So they know that they think they'll have a foundation on their new, new house. in 9 months. We will have an investment that comes to term 9 months from now so that they can maximize those resources for, the community. We track all that. You have monthly reports that you can get. We're almost like an online banking portal from that side. We are not a bank, but your investments are things that you can see. You can print reports. You know how they're doing every day. You can pull those dollars back into your accounts through ACH or wire transfers. So that's kind of the big picture. Other things we do, obviously, you'll see a upside down triangle there: safety, liquidity, yield. We want to make sure your funds are safe, that they're available when you need them, and that we can get a competitive yield, but we'll never sacrifice either of the first two to try to make you a buck. We are very conservative when it comes to that. So, again, that's important to us that you all maximize it, but not to the expense of the other. So why would you join? It doesn't cost anything to join, nor are you obligated to invest. If you join through the resolution, we're an option. Chief can say, hey, we've got some money. What's your best rate? He can take that. I think you said you're a First Star. Say, what's your rate? Or you could go to Bank of Hillsborough. What's your rate? Wherever it is, you can go and say, I can get this on a liquid. Can you beat it? If not, maybe we're the win. That's how we're trying to be competitive. But there's no guarantee that we'll ever get a dollar. We have some people that have opened accounts that have a very strong relationship with the local bank, and the local bank beats us. That's okay. It's still a win for us from the public entity side because we're getting a good, strong rate of return. We offer lots of different options then. So you're not just going down to the local bank for a CD. Treasury may be better. Maybe the CD is better, but we try to look at all those markets to give you options. We also give you rates for Missouri. Sometimes different areas of the state may have lots of capital and they don't need any more. So banks are kind of depressing what they'll pay. But maybe Springfield, there's a bank that's looking for some capital and offering a better CD rate. Again, we have a bank credit team. We only invest with banks that either A, are going to be FDIC insured, or if they're not, and they're collateralizing, that we know that they have the collateral to be able to pledge that against those securities. We also help with laddering. So if you have reserves that you're building toward, we'll ladder those out on 3, 6, 9, 12-month investments, or 6, 12, 18, 24, depending. And we'll develop all that with the chief and your team. The online capability we talked about a little bit. And you have unlimited amount of accounts. I heard you kind of share there's 3 or 4 different accounts there, land account, you can have as many accounts. There's no cost for an account. You can open up as many to segregate that money out. Questions on any of that? I've been going through that pretty quickly.
What's our current rate of banks?
Right now, we are getting 3.8%.
I think 3.2 is a pretty solid. I mean, that's pretty common.
3.8.
Oh, 3.8's even better. I just heard was talking to somebody today.
Now, with that being said, if you remember, our initial 4-year term with Bankstar was 85% of the Wall Street published rate, which, if I'm not mistaken, that's still in the 7s. I think.
It should be lower than that. So yeah, the Federal Reserve did. They've done a series of cuts.
Right.
Kind of pause that. It's probably in that 4. I think their target range right now is a 4.15 to 4.35 for the Federal Reserve. Don't quote me on that.
Sure.
It's pretty chaotic right now out there. Yeah, there's lots of levers being pulled, and that just creates a lot of uncertainty. So you're seeing some big fluctuations.
So I'm not advocating at all at this point in time that we pull funds from Bankstar. That's not what I'm doing. However, if we do start to take a look at our equipment and apparatus fund and say, hey, we don't have any major purchases over the next 3 to 4 years, we can go to these guys and ladder some stuff in it, or do some different options and get half a percentage point better than what we're doing now. It's more money, in our pocket.
I think it's a good option.
I think it is too. It's an option, costs nothing. I know, we were just talking beforehand, John has postal school district in it. So I'm not saying that's the end all reason, but
We need.
yeah, we need some of his $36 million.
Yeah.
But I can't see how we could go wrong joining Okay, there's no downfall to it at all. And as over the next couple of months, we can take a look and say, hey, we can move $250,000 into a, they can find us a CD for 5%. I don't know.
Yeah, it's such a volatile, it's hard to say. And again, we've had banks come, there's a Encore Bank, I think they're headquartered in Springfield. Came out last week and they're like, we're looking for 20 million and we're offering 14, so we can find those. And just so you all know, yeah, we're making money. How do we make our money? So whenever Chief sees a rate, if we bring a rate for a 4.2 CD, we've already taken some basis points from that. With a CD, a treasury, or any of those pieces, we can take up to 15 basis points. With the liquid, I think it's up to 31. Obviously, it's active management every day. But again, sometimes we're in waivers because to be competitive, we have to waive some of our fees or else we're not going to win it, and then we're just sitting dormant. So that's how we make our money. I mean, it's not a lot. Somebody says, well, if you invest $1 million, then for a year you only get 1,500. Yeah. But if you have 3.8 billion,
Yeah.
it allows you to pay your people. It allows you to have a staff to look for those best rates because you're doing it on such volume. And that's back to that whole idea of the cooperative. Why does it work for governments to come together to do this? Because it brings the cost of investing down for everyone. And a rising tide lifts all the ships. And to give you an idea, we do work with a lot of the school districts in Jefferson County, actually every school district except for DeSoto. We have active management with some of their funds, whether it's bond issue, whether it's their operating. Some people do what's called direct deposit. So their state payments come directly to us and start making interest day one. So we do that. We also have Antonio Fire District, Cedar Hill Fire District just joined. Mappaville, I visited with them last month. It's on their agenda for next week. Don't forget Saline Valley, North Jeff Ambulance. So we've tried, I was superintendent at Northwest years ago. I love Jefferson County. It's so coming back and supporting these communities is awesome. To give you an idea though, the smallest school district we work with is 17 kids. So we are not only going, let's go find the biggest fish out there. Yeah, we have some of those. We have some people that are some entities that have hundreds of millions of dollars. But we also have the 17 student school district who has maybe $250,000 with us, and that's just as important. So we're kind of pride ourselves. Almost everybody on that team came from a public entity background, so we still kind of enjoy seeing public entities with it. So I won't hound you. Periodically, if Chief has an account open, periodically I say, hey, just checking in, how you doing? Here's some rates we got. Don't know if you're looking, but I will never come down and say, hey, you need to put some money with us or you need to pay it. It's not the way we work. We are truly a cooperative that way, and it's all about support.
I don't see a problem at all.
Do you have a contractor?
I did. I have a resolution that is ready to be signed, and I would like to sign it while he's here, so we make sure we sign it all in the right spots.
Right. All right, so we have a resolution of 25-4, and that is to authorize the participation. I make a motion to approve that. All in favor? Aye.
Authorizes right now Julie and myself to manage the accounts for now, and then
To give you an idea how that looks, after the resolution comes in, we get a W-9, and then we open up accounts. Those accounts sit with UMB. So they're not in Missouri Bank. They're our custodial bank. So if you want to open one up for equipment, it'll be for you all. You can label it however you want, but there can be one opened up. There can be one for operations, capital projects, whatever that may be. And they'll sit there and sit dormant until you want to put some money in it. And then if you put money in it, you can track it just like you would an investment in your own, investment account.
I don't.
it's hereby certified warrant of treasurer, of which is Matthew Woods. Kids, so. 12th day of March 27th. You're doing good.
The other thing, I talked to Chief a little bit about too, that again, there's no charge. We will do a cash flow analysis. So we'll take last year's actuals, this year's budget, and we're able to, one thing about public entities is pretty predictable. We kind of know what our expenses are gonna be. Yeah, you can have a flood or something that will shift those slightly, but typically we know we can run that and actually say, you might have some dormant cash that's sitting, that could be working harder for you, or maybe there's some other things, but it's a good check where the office managers say, hey, we're trending $20,000 behind on our salaries this year. It's good, or maybe we're trending, we've had a lot of overtime, but it's a good stop. Kind of check the kind of look. So that's also something we're very willing to do and sit down and just kind of walk through with the chief of the team. And I participate in those, but I've got somebody a lot smarter than me that runs all the Excel spreadsheets on that stuff. The youngsters are much better at that stuff than I am.
Yes.
I'm still a fan of paper.
March 12th. 5. All right, Paul, how do you want this officially done? My secretary is absent tonight. Who do you want to sign here and who do you want to attest?
But it can be the treasurer and the president.
Okay.
So the president would sign and then the
Then
treasurer
treasurer
would
would
attest.
attest.
Okay. Yeah.
Let's test. You attest that one too.
Chief, if you're getting 3.8, that's still pretty solid. I mean, we've heard a lot of people have slid down to about 3.2. So that's still pretty good.
Yeah, and we'll just,
Yeah, and as I've shared with other people, it's not worth chasing necessarily like 5 basis points.
No.
Sometimes your local relationship with your bank's not worth bruising over that. But if it gets to be significant base, then sometimes you got it. And maybe sometimes it gets them to sharpen their pencil.
So I'm waiting for Bankstar to realize that they're where your contract's up, and they haven't yet, so I'm not saying.
I wouldn't. No, it's good. You have to have a good banking partner. You're not writing checks from us. We are truly that kind of a holding company for your funds.
Sure, I nailed everything, or they nailed everything.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Okay.
All right, perfect.
Let me go make you a copy.
Okay, all right, do you want to scan it in and just send it?
Yeah, I can definitely.
Yeah, or I can do it, if you want to make a copy, I can scan it and send it to them, whatever's easiest for you.
I'll scan it.
Okay,
I'll
yep.
Send it to you. I
And
got
then and what I'll do is include Emily from our office.
Okay.
And she'll start that process of getting an account open, and
Perfect.
again, there can be $0 in the account,
Okay,
it's just a kind of a placeholder.
wonderful. I appreciate you coming out, Paul.
No, absolutely. I enjoy working with you all. I really do. I mean, I've kind of got a little bit going on down here and it's kind of fun because, it's good to see some of the communities, being supported because I think it's an underserved area. Some of the fire districts don't have a lot of people that are out willing to support it.
We appreciate the opportunity.
Absolutely. Looking forward to it. And then if you guys ever want me to come back down and talk about I'm here. I have no problem coming down and,
Awesome.
and I will actually, we're gonna be at the fire district, conference for the first time ever, this summer. So, if you guys are there, certainly would love to, see you there too.
I appreciate it, Paul.
Yeah, thank you very much.
See you. Thank you all.
Good to meet you.
Yeah. I think I'll see you out there golfing.
Yeah.
I'll be the one in the woods
Yeah.
for sure, or looking for my dog. Like,
Nothing wrong with that.
thank you. See y'all.
Thanks. Hey, Gary, can I circle back to the chief's report and add two things in there?
Yep.
Because I didn't put it on here because we just got it today. And they're not good news. We got notice from our comprehensive insurance carrier that we're being canceled. Non-renewal notice. I have a meeting with Grant Bowen Friday to see where we go. Not the end of the world. I think it's a little different in the commercial world than it is.
Something to me if you want to sick.
Well, just the two. It's BS.
Mhm.
Because they were all acts of God and here they are. Maybe the it is. And maybe the tanker claim is still playing a role on that. That was 2021 tanker accident, but I don't think that was our fault, so I don't see that. It's just the two back-to-back comp claims, you know. What are you gonna do? And then unfortunately, I talked to Chief Fisher today at Cedar Hill, who talked to Norm Waterwees, who is our medical insurance broker, and he informed me that Norm hinted we are in the same boat as Cedar Hill and looking at a 21% health insurance. Yeah. So it has not been a day of solid news. So
Don't have any good news? Sure.
I do. As long as you're good, we can add this to the chief's report too. Basically coming out with the TIF information. It's all been resolved.
Okay.
So things will be moving in the right direction. I'm still waiting. I talked with Jason about it last night down in a water ditch. So, but we are moving things. Things are good. The city of Hillsborough board voted in favor of doing the right thing. So we're moving things in the right direction. So. that's all
So
we're-
are you thinking that we should go back out for bid for health insurance, or are we about to spend?
Yeah,
I mean,
well, we're gonna have Norm bid it all again, see
that's a lot.
where we're at. Yeah, that's gonna be a 21% increase. I budgeted for a 10% increase, so that's roughly finding another probably 12 to 14 grand out of the budget for that increase if we stay,
Right.
you know, where we're at. So, and there are other options out there such as deductible increasing and then buying gap insurance to bridge that gap between the employee and that. I would really like the fire districts to all come together, which may be a possibility in the future. It's not going to happen before our renewal, to form some sort of a group purchasing pool for health insurance. And our main problem is we don't have any leverage with only having 15 people, 15 employees.
Sure.
You don't really get leverage with these health insurance companies until you're over 50 as your number of employees. And then, we tried last year with the union's 2665 plan, and so they're not taking anybody new until at some point later this year. There'll be another one I'll reach out to again just to see where they're at with that. But it's not looking great. But there are ways to limit those costs. And I was having a conversation with Todd Melkus today from the city of DeSoto. He said when he was with Peebly, they were facing the same situations he was. But man, once you hit that magic number of 50, our 10, 12, 18, 20% increases really drop significantly to 0 to 2 to 3% increases. So It would be beneficial if we can get all the fire chiefs, or at least some of the fire chiefs together and, which is probably a lot closer than you may think. To try to figure out how we can keep these costs low for everybody in Jefferson County. It's ludicrous. It's worse every year.
Alright. 9.2, the tires and the rims for 18.
6518 going to a brush fire had a blowout. It's not Nate or Eli. And the rim is bent. They bent it back. Discount Tire put the used tire on there. It still had quite a bit of meat on there. Probably time to replace multiple of those tires on that truck. We're still attempting to find the rim. Find a new rim somewhere, hopefully. And the cost of the tires was, what was it, $1,800 or $1,500?
$17.50, somewhere around there, yeah.
So I just need permission to replace the tires.
Replace the tire.
Then how old are those?
90.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Second that, yeah, let's replace those tires. Oh, High Ridge's mini pumper.
Well, you guys all know how that all kind of went down. I think it'll be a good solution to our potential problem of the ladder truck on big roads and keeping miles down off the ladder truck. I just think it needs to be official on the in the minutes moving forward. We've got the check cut for High Ridge, ready to rock and roll.
I make a motion for that. Second, all in favor, aye. What do you think about May
For what?
in service?
For that new truck?
Yeah.
I think it depends. If we can, we're gonna have to play some chess with equipment to get it to fit in here now until the new building is
Fixed. Yeah, ready to go.
is fixed and ready. So,
Okay.
we'll figure something out. We always do.
What type of rescue equipment you think?
We are not gonna go buy any. I did ask too in this letter, I guess I should quote that too, for up to no more than another 50 grand to ensure that our truck is outfitted. And that will include the cost of what we need to do with the ladder truck, the equipment for that as well too. Is that enough, you think, Jason, for both those trucks?
I would think so.
I mean, that's,
More than so.
I don't anticipate spending anywhere near that. We're gonna take the radios off of 19, put them on our truck.
Okay.
19 just won't have a set of radios, which is fine. It doesn't probably get used for anything now. And if it does get used to haul a trailer or something, they can grab radios. The on-duty crew has radios, so it'll be a non-issue. So we're gonna have to, we have an extra mobile radio laying around, so we're gonna have to get that installed. So there'll be a cost with that. We will take the battery operated combi tool, is currently on 14, and put it on this truck. And just really some other loose, they want a battery operated fan for the new ladder truck. That's one of the purchasers, a few other items to make it ISO compliant with all of that. So, and all that money will come out of the equipment and apparatus. So,
Did I read a new one?
yes,
How much is a new?
a lot of money.
So the one Mansfield got 2 months ago was $360, somewhere around there. I think so.
And again, like I said with this truck, I'm not a fan of the Ford chassis. I think they're just too small to handle. Even if they claim they're not, I just Brian's push. I'd rather have a bigger chassis. These guys are more protected with a bigger chassis. I've driven an ambulance with a Ford chassis, freaking chunk. Maybe you think differently, but The bigger, 5,500 Chevy GMC chassis are the way to go. Body in good shape, we can eventually, if we need to, get it remounted on the chassis, save money.
So this one would go on a lot of medical calls?
Yes,
Accidents?
no. And the reason being, we need the big truck out on the roads to protect our crews in case somebody gets hit. I'd rather them hit a truck than a person.
But the counting tool in case they get a wreck on the way back. From
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
Right, that's what I.
Or if the weather's bad and they're, they're running this in the snow, and that is when it would be run on a rack, is in the snow and things like that, because it's a forward drive.
So you won't use the big lights? They're on 14 now.
Oh, yeah.
So do you have anything for the ladder truck that would compare to that?
Sorry, scene lights, the
Yeah.
gas that goes up? No, because the ladder's in the way, but we put extra body lights on it. So,
And the ladder itself will have, once it's extended, have a light. So, yeah, we use that light all the time.
What do you think about the mini pumper going down to the Tory station? Not still safe?
Anything will cross that bridge once, Gary.
I know, yeah.
What we're gonna have to look at, I'm gonna say probably not.
That's what I thought too.
That's probably still gonna. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah.
We may be surprised and it doesn't weigh as much as we think, or it may weigh a bunch. I think it's gonna be quite a bit heavier than the brush trucks. That's just a bad deal down there that I'm scared to drive a pickup truck across that, let alone. There's a house on fire, we're gonna have to do what we have to do.
Right.
But other than that,
All right, anything else about that? I mean, it's,
oh, as long as you guys are good.
yeah, we're good. All right. Do you have anything else on any business?
Oh, I got, sir.
All right. Make a motion to adjourn?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. And we've set the checks, here we go.
Off the record, you guys, before you